Something is wrong in the Appalachian Mountains. People go in expecting quiet trails and fresh air, but come out with stories they can't shake. Figures watching from the trees. Creatures that move just wrong enough to set off every alarm in your brain. And the worst part? Many witnesses say the feeling starts before anything is even there. Tonight, we uncover 5 creepy Appalachian cryptids that science can't explain. I'm Uncle Perry. I don't just tell stories, I dig up the fucked up ones most folks are too chicken shit to talk about. And I do it in a cavalier kind of way. When it comes to cryptids, I chase down the truth behind the legends. Today, we're going to explore the strangest cryptids in the Appalachian Mountains. Oh, hell yeah! It's toast time! It's toast time! Oh, hell yeah! It's post time, baby! It's time to crack a frosty one, kick your feet up, and let's get it! The legend of the Mothman started in November of 1966 in the quiet town of Point Pleasant, West Virginia, not too far from my hometown. 5 men working in a cemetery saw a massive winged fucker lift off from the trees and glide around silently overhead. Just days later, 2 young couples reported running into a towering creature with glowing red eyes near an abandoned TNT facility outside of town. Their terrifying account would spark one of the most famous cryptid cases in American history. Witnesses consistently describe a humanoid creature standing between 6 and 7 feet tall with enormous wings stretching 10 feet across. Its most disturbing feature? Glowing red eyes that appeared to reflect light even in complete darkness. Some folks said the strange creature had no visible head at all, with its eyes set directly into its chest. Others reported long legs, dark gray or black skin, and movements that seemed both unnatural and impossibly fast. The Mothman was often seen near remote roads, abandoned buildings, and wooded areas surrounding Point Pleasant. Folks said the creature silently watched you from a distance before suddenly taking off. Over time, the legend became tied to warnings of disaster, with some believing the creature appears as an omen just before tragic events take place. Whether predator, messenger, or something else entirely, the Mothman quickly became part of Appalachian legend. On the night of November 15th, 1966, 2 young couples were driving outside Point Pleasant near the abandoned West Virginia Ordnance Works, a former World War II munitions site known locally as the TNT area. As they passed one of the old concrete buildings, they noticed 2 glowing red lights staring at them from the darkness beside the building. At first, they figured the lights were probably just reflections, until the lights began to move on their own. The witnesses later described a large, gray creature standing nearly 7 feet tall, its wings folded behind its back. As the terrified group dove into the '57 Chevy and floored it, the creature suddenly spread its wings and lifted into the air, chasing the car. According to their account, the creature kept pace with the car as it wound up, reaching fucking speeds of nearly 100 miles per hour. The witnesses reported hearing a high-pitched shriek as the creature glided just above the road, its glowing eyes locked onto the car below. Dude kept his foot on the gas until they reached the safety of the town, 7 terrifying miles later. Their report was published in local newspapers. Shortly after that, a wave of additional sightings came in across the region. Over the following 13 months, 80 to 100 residents reported seeing a similar red-eyed, winged figure in the skies above Point Pleasant roughly 100 times. Then, on December 15, 1967, tragedy struck. During rush hour traffic, the Silver Bridge connecting West Virginia and Ohio suddenly collapsed into the icy waters of the Ohio River. 46 people lost their lives. 9 people were injured. 2 bodies were never found. After the collapse, many residents began to question whether the strange sightings had been a warning. Some said they saw the Mothman near the bridge just days before the disaster. Witnesses consistently described a large, winged humanoid with glowing red eyes, capable of silent flight and extreme speed. Some scientists suggest the sightings could be explained by misidentified large birds, like sandhill cranes or great horned owls, who have eyes that fuck with your head at night. Others claim mass hysteria or misinterpretation of shadows in a high-stress situation. But many witnesses insist the creature they encountered did not resemble any known animal. Several reports describe the figure flying without visible wing movement, while others claim it pursued moving vehicles at fucking impossible speeds. The consistency of the red glowing eyes, combined with the sudden end of the sightings after the Silver Bridge collapse, continues to leave researchers with more questions than answers. Dwayyo. Long before modern dogman sightings began popping up across North America, the forests of Maryland were said to be home of something much older, a creature known as the Dwayyo. First documented in 1944, local newspapers and regional folklore describe a terrifying, wolf-like humanoid stalking rural communities in the Appalachian Mountains. Some researchers believe the Dwayyo is one of the earliest recorded accounts of a dogman-type creature in the United States. Witnesses described the Dwayyo as a towering humanoid beast covered in dark fur, standing upright on 2 legs. Its head looked like a wolf or a big-ass dog, complete with pointed ears and elongated jaws filled with sharp teeth. Several accounts mention glowing eyes reflected in the dark. The early dogman has long-ass hairy arms with long clawed hands, combining the physical traits of both dog and man. The Dwayyo is often associated with isolated rural roads, farmland, and dense woodland areas. According to legend, the creature stalked travelers at night, sometimes chasing folks on foot before vanishing into the forest. Damn it! According to legend, the creature stalked travelers at night, sometimes chasing folks on foot before vanishing into the forest. Stories characterize the Dwayyo as aggressive, territorial, and unusually intelligent. It's able to track its prey through the woods with unnerving accuracy. Locals also said that hearing its howl in the distance was a warning, a sign to stay out of the forest after dark. One of the most well-known encounters involving the Dwayyo was reported in the early 20th century near the city of Middletown, Maryland, at the foothills. One of the most well-known encounters involving the Dwayyo was reported in the early 20th century near the city of Middletown, Maryland, at the foothills of the Appalachian Mountains. According to local accounts, a farmer traveling along a quiet country road late at night noticed movement along the tree line beside him. At first, he thought it was a large stray dog, but as the animal stepped into the faint glow of the lantern light, he realized something was fucking terribly wrong. The creature stood upright, balancing on two legs. Witnesses later described the figure as massive, with a hunched posture and long arms hanging at its sides. The head appeared distinctly canine, yet its body moved with an unsettling human-like walk. According to the account, the creature began following the farmer from a distance, keeping pace as he continued down the road. Frightened, the farmer started to speed up, but the creature reportedly broke into a run, moving with disturbing speed. Eventually, the figure disappeared into the surrounding forest, leaving the shaken farmer to reach safety. In later years, additional sightings came out across Maryland and neighboring Appalachian regions. Reports described similar encounters involving large, upright canine fuckers hanging out near rural roads, farm fields, and dusty trails. Descriptions stayed consistent. A wolf-like humanoid capable of moving quickly on two legs, often appearing unexpectedly before retreating silently into the wilderness. Some researchers have noted striking similarities between Dwayyo reports and modern dogman encounters reported throughout the eastern United States. These consistent reports over decades suggest that Dwayyo was a real, physical presence in the region, leaving a legacy of fear and mystery that still lingers in Appalachian folklore. Witnesses consistently described a large, upright canine creature displaying both animal and human characteristics. Some scientists suggest sightings could be explained by misidentified wolves, large dogs, or even bears briefly standing on their hind legs. Others believe the legend may have developed from exaggerated folklore or misinterpretations of animals observed at night. However, many reports describe the creature moving for extended periods on two legs, maintaining balance and speed in ways normal life just can't fucking do. Witnesses often emphasize the distinctly wolf-like head combined with a human-like body structure. The sharp consistency of these descriptions across multiple decades has led some researchers to consider the very real possibility that the Dwayyo represents one of the earliest documented accounts of what is now commonly referred to as the Dogman. Mimic. Legends of the mimic date back generations in Appalachian folklore. Early settlers and hunters told stories of a creature that could imitate human voices. The mimic was first encountered a long time ago by isolated families in the deep forests of West Virginia and Virginia. The mimic lured lost hikers towards dangerous shit. Unlike other cryptids, its terror doesn't come from massive size or strength, but from cunning and supernatural deception. A mimic shows up when your nerves are already fucked, usually as a human-shaped shadow flickering at the edge of your vision. You hear it before you see it.
Perry, come here.
Your name.
Perry.
A friend's voice.
Come on over here, man.
Something familiar.
Perry, come
Just
here.
said wrong.
I know you're alone.
Look straight at it, and the shape disappears. When it speaks, the familiar sound urges you closer.
Perry.
Sound is its primary weapon.
Perry,
It imitates voices of friends,
come here.
family, and even the hiker themselves to lure victims deeper into the forest. If you whistle, it will respond with the same tune. It seems almost intelligent. Old-timers will tell you, if you hear a voice out in the woods, do not respond. Do not follow it. And if something whistles back, run like hell. One of the most chilling reports occurred in 2012 near the Monongahela National Forest in West Virginia. A solo hiker walking at dusk along a remote trail reported hearing his own voice calling him from behind a bunch of pine trees.
Come on over here, man.
At first, he assumed another hiker was nearby fucking with him. He answered cautiously, and his voice echoed back perfectly, syllable for syllable.
Come here.
Every attempt to move toward the sound was met with a more distant voice, as though the voice stayed one step ahead of him. Eventually, the hiker tried whistling to get a response. Immediately, the exact same tones were returned, only coming from deeper in the shadows. Freaked the fuck out, he ran off the trail and later described feeling a presence following him silently for nearly a mile. When he looked back, the forest was empty. No human, no animal, only the sound of wind in the trees. Other reports across the Appalachian Mountains describe similar encounters. Travelers hearing the voices of lost loved ones calling from the woods,
Perry.
and strange repetitive footsteps that echo perfectly back. Some victims reported feeling disoriented, guiding them away from safety as if the forest itself was fucking with their head. The mimic has a lot of patience, often waiting for its prey to become isolated or distracted. Those who survive it say it's not aggressive in the traditional sense. It doesn't attack physically, but it is deadly in its cunning, luring victims to the edges of cliffs, rivers, or remote terrain where accidents can easily occur and sometimes do. In every case, the lesson is crystal fucking clear. The mimic is best avoided, ignored, and respected. Answering its call is the worst thing you can do. Witnesses describe voices perfectly mimicking their own or someone familiar, along with whistled tunes returned with uncanny precision. Skeptics argue that sounds in the dense forest, echoes, wind, or distant human activity can create illusions of voices or whistles. Auditory pareidolia, the brain's tendency to pick out patterns in random sounds, may explain some reports. Yet, many encounters include details that defy these explanations. Voices seem to respond intelligently to questions or repeat identical sequences that rule out wind, wildlife, or just random bullshit noise. Victims report being followed invisibly, feeling watched, and encountering sounds that stop immediately when they attempt to observe them. The combination of accurate imitation, persistent stalking, and supernatural eeriness continues to leave researchers and witnesses questioning whether the mimic is simply a trick of the woods or a true cryptid of Appalachian legend. Not deer. The legend of the not deer didn't come from a single terrifying encounter. Fuck no. It emerged gradually out of the Appalachian backwoods lore and gained traction through decades of first-hand reports. Locals in the Appalachian Mountains, especially in parts of western North Carolina, Virginia, eastern Kentucky, and West Virginia began noticing deer that seemed off. Normal at a distance, but wrong up close. The term "not deer" only took hold in the late 2010s online, but the eerie sightings themselves stretch back much further. Hunters and hikers reporting, "What the fuck is that?" long before the name existed. Witnesses consistently described not deer as resembling a deer at first glance, but with subtle, unsettling differences. Its legs may be too long, bending at unnatural angles, or its movements may be jerky and unnatural. Their eyes are set too far forward on their head, like a predator. The body can appear slightly fucked, as if it's a twisted imitation of the real animal. The not deer moves with an uncanny confidence, slipping through the woods at night like your mom after a Saturday night at the Eagles Club. It crosses trails in full view, sometimes walking right past people. Its gaze is too long. Hunters warn, if a deer feels off, keep your distance. The creepy shithead watches quietly from the tree line, vanishing the moment you try to get closer. Chris had spent 5 years in Waynesboro, Virginia, and nighttime dirt bike rides up the winding Appalachian roads were his escape. One restless night, he took his Suzuki up to McCormick Gap Overlook. Pitch black darkness all around him, thick and oppressive. Feeling like he was being watched, the hair on his neck pricked up. Armed with a .44 Magnum, Chris tried to shake it off, scanning the woods for threats. Maybe a tweaked out meth head or a bear or something far worse. Unable to relax, he fired up the bike and cautiously headed down the road. That's when he saw it. Glowing eyes on the roadside as he got closer. His stomach twisted. This was not a normal deer. The head was more cow-like than deer-like, atop a long-legged, barrel-chested frame. Its proportions were all fucked up, triggering shit's not right dread, aka Uncanny Valley. At 30 feet away, Chris tried everything to spook it away. Flashing lights, revving his engine, honking. Nothing. The creature didn't fucking flinch. Frustrated, he grabbed a rock and stepped into the road to toss it at it. That's when the not deer reared up on its hind legs and started walking. Chris fucking froze. Mouth dropped open, hand on his gun as it took jerky, unnatural steps toward him, like the ring bitch. It shook its head violently, hopped on 2 legs several times, and then vanished into the darkness. Heart fucking pounding, Chris turned his headlight towards where it disappeared. On the cliffside, a sheer 40 to 50 foot drop. However, he saw its fucking freaky ass head peeking over the edge. Nope, hell no. He throttled the bike and tore out of there like a bat out of hell. Fuck the wildlife, fuck the road, and absolutely, definitely fuck the not deer. Some skeptics say the not deer sightings are just sick deer. Chronic wasting disease, or CWD, aka zombie deer disease, can make deer stumble, drool, and act disoriented, but rarely shows up in the Appalachian Mountains, and it doesn't give them forward-facing predator eyes. Rabies? Sure, it can make animals erratic, foaming, twitchy, and even make them walk towards humans. But it doesn't make them grin like they just farted. None of these explanations account for the human-like eyes, unnatural proportions, jerky, deliberate movements, or sinister expressions reported in not deer encounters. In other words, rabies or CWD might make a deer weird, but they can't turn it into something that fucks with your instincts and terrifies the hell out of you. Wampus Cat. Deep in Cherokee folklore comes the legend of the Wampus Cat, a creature said to have once been a woman who broke sacred tribal law by secretly watching a forbidden ritual wearing a cougar fur as camo. As punishment, she was cursed by the tribal shaman and transformed into a monstrous feline, forced to roam the Appalachian Mountains. The story puts the Wampus Cat in the mountains of Tennessee, North Carolina, and surrounding Appalachian regions where whispers of it persist today. Witnesses describe the Wampus Cat as a massive-ass feline, often compared to a mountain lion, but with disturbing differences. Its body is muscular and low to the ground, built for silent stalking. The most fucked up feature is its glowing yellow or green eyes, often seen first in the darkness. Some reports claim its face appears almost human-like for a split second, triggering an instinctive sense that something intelligent is staring back. Many stories claim it watches people from the tree line, waiting for the perfect moment to confront whoever trespassed. In folklore, it's sometimes portrayed as a punishment spirit or protector of sacred land. The lesson woven into the legend is simple: respect the woods, respect tradition, and don't assume humans sit at the top of the food chain. Among all Wampus Cat encounters recorded in Appalachian folklore, the most dramatic doesn't come from a single witness, but from repeated encounters describing the creature's terrifying scream and its ability to psychologically overwhelm anyone who stares at it too long. This psychological attack comes up continually across traditional accounts and is referred to as the holy shit moment of the confrontation. The encounter begins the same way many predator stories do, with silence. The forest stills, insects stop, even the wind seems to pull back from the trees. Then, somewhere beyond the tree line, two glowing eyes appear, low to the ground, watching. Witnesses describe feeling an immediate sense of dread, as if something ancient has locked onto them. The creature doesn't charge. It doesn't run. Instead, it watches, unmoving, calculating. Then comes the scream. Descriptions portray the sound as something between a woman's scream and a cougar's roar, layered, unnatural. The cry echoes through valleys, bouncing between mountains, loud enough to feel it vibrate in your chest before fully registering it in your ears. The scream causes prey to freeze completely, unable to run, as if paralyzed by pure terror. Even more unsettling is what happens if eye contact is made. The creature's glowing yellow or green eyes are said to trigger overwhelming panic in those who stare too long. Witnesses describe an instinctive urge to look away, but can't. It's paired with a feeling of confusion, disorientation, or even losing your fucking mind. Unlike typical predator encounters, the fear described is not just physical, it's psychological. The threat is reaching directly into your mind. In most accounts, the creature eventually retreats into the darkness, leaving the witness shaking, drooling, and shitting all over themselves. This particular encounter is the most chilling portrayal of its special abilities. Some scientists suggest these encounters could be misidentified cougars or bobcats. Both are known to produce terrifying screams that echo through mountain valleys. Cougars in particular can emit high-pitched shrieks that many people mistake for a woman screaming in terror. Low lighting conditions, fear responses, and unfamiliar wildlife behavior can amplify the sense that something supernatural has taken place. But reports often include details that push way fucking past normal animal explanations. Witnesses consistently describe prolonged eye contact, an overwhelming psychological effect, and a sense of dread that begins before the creature is ever seen. Known predators rely on stealth, speed, and ambush, not fear-induced paralysis through sound alone. Whether folklore exaggeration or something not fully understood, the Wampus Cat continues to blur the line between scientifically known wildlife and something far more unsettling. So let's take a step back and think about what the fuck we just walked through. Mothman's glowing eyes cutting through the fog. The Dwayyo lurking where the trees grow thickest. The mimic whispering your own voice from the shadows. The not deer bending the rules of biology like some nightmare glitch. And the Wampus Cat with a scream that paralyzes you and a dead-ass stare that'll send you into a complete panic. These beasts are reminders. The woods ain't safe, and the shadows ain't empty. You think you're alone out there? Shit. Hell no. Every snap of a twig, every shift in the dark, every flicker at the edge of your vision, that's something watching. And if you ever see it running, watching, fuck you. And if you ever see it watching back, run. Or don't. It won't matter either way. Do you like weird-ass monsters? Then tap that like button and subscribe. That way, you won't miss out on more of my fucked up commentary. And besides, I really do appreciate it. Now, I know there's quite a few more cryptids I could have picked from. I had to leave a few out even I wanted to do. Which ones did I miss? Let me know down in the comments. And if you're ready to crank that shit all the way up to 11, that join button's got your name on it. For just $2.99, you can have my back in a huge fucking way. Until next time, y'all keep it real, keep it chill, and stay creepy! Catch you on the flip. Thank you so much for watching all the way to the end. You are the real beast.